What's up YouTube, Koi51 here, time for another video, and this time it is a Fire Emblem video. Someone on Tumblr has pretty much just translated from looks like a character introductions of all the major characters that are going to appear in the game for both sides. So I'm going to have a split video between the two because of reasons for my channel being that it has been copyright striked. I can't make anything beyond 15 minutes, so I can't make it, so it's a bit of both. So I'm really sorry about that, but I have to do this or I just can't get the content out. And I want to get this content out. There's a lot of stuff in here that's really interesting and might allude to some of their personalities that we might actually see in the final game. Of course, what I'm talking about is Fire Emblem. If in the West it's still under the tentative name Fire Emblem Next. So hopefully by E3 we'll have a final confirmation of what the name is going to be in the West. But for now we've got some details coming in. This is like just a translated article from the looks of things, just a character sort of thing. So we got first up we've got the Hoshido sort of faction, if you would like to call it, here, and it introduces pretty much most of the main cast. I'm going to read it out here for you. We introduce the 4 major characters of the Hoshido scenario, all of whom are blood siblings of the protagonist. From the story's opening, they prove to be reliable and active war assets for you. So this is the first character that's been that I'm going to be touching on. Hinoka, the first princess of the kingdom of Hoshido and the older sister of the protagonist. Her personality is unsophisticated and yet honest. She started weapons training from the day the protagonist was kidnapped. As the class name Pegasus Knight implies, she is a unit that is able to fly. And her quote that she says is, "Even if the odds are against us, as a princess of Hoshido, I shall fight to the end." Okay, so judging from her design herself, she looks really cool. She looks like she kind of like reminds me a little bit like Crom in a way. Maybe I'm pulling like stuff out of my but like I don't know, kind of reminds me a little bit of Crom and his sort of personality, like serving the you know, like she's serving the Hoshido Empire or the clan, sort of like that. But what I wanted to touch on was something that was interesting from just reading it, is that she says that she started weapons training when the protagonist, which is your creator character, was kidnapped. So does this mean that the kidnapping is a catalyst onto why she becomes sort of like that's why she becomes embroiled in this war towards the North, you know? Maybe that's the catalyst, that's why she rose up, you know? Maybe like that's the main reason. It just seems that way. That kind of gives her character a little bit more interesting, you know, backstory. Like, you know, she clearly, she might have felt that she failed in saving your character, who's Kamui in the Japanese version for now. Kamui, and she feels guilty, and then that's why she takes up arms to take revenge. Maybe that's the case. It's, you know, it's all speculation at this point until the Japanese version comes out and we see a solid sort of translation of that sort of content. But you know, for now, it's all we got is speculation, which is nice, really nice. We got the second character, Sakura, the youngest of the Hoshido royal family and the protagonist's little sister. She has a shy and reserved personality. Her class is Priestess, which we introduced on page 10. Considering she is a unit that heals allies, she is a necessary addition to your army. So she's a priestess in this case. If it doesn't really bring out really clear, she's wearing Shrine Maiden clothes, so it kind of makes it obvious that she is sort of like she's more reserved in terms of personality. So she must think, hopefully she sees things really very like clearly and very very mature. Maybe that's how she is, and it's just she's shy and that kind of stuff. So she's the youngest, so that makes mean she's able to see this as more like, maybe she's more optimistic than everyone else in terms of what's going to happen. So maybe that's why, maybe hoping that this is the case, maybe when she finally meets Kamui, who's her older brother, maybe she's the one who is most accepting of him coming back, or him or her at this point, because it can be both, it could be male or female. But maybe she would be the most accepting of him or her coming back into Hoshido, and maybe she's the person who would try to talk reason into him or her, Kamui, at this point. It seems very likely, because she's not being clouded by or expose too much of the war in this case, because war can change people. War can change a lot of people's personalities in terms of how another person interacts. So maybe she'll be the most optimistic person and want Kamui to come back. So we see another character at the bottom. We still don't know anything about her, but from the article it says like a Hoshido royalty. So maybe she's like the patriarch. She could be the mother of all of these people, but maybe she's just like, maybe she's an aunt or something like that. We don't know anything about her yet, but it seems that she is the patriarch of matriarch, my bad, not patriarch, matriarch of all these characters, and she seems to be ruling, or at least on a on a surface level, ruling this kingdom or this clan at this point. So we got another second character, Takumi, who is the prince of the kingdom of Hoshido and the younger brother of the protagonist. He wants to be recognized for his strength. Despite being siblings, he does not really have any positive feelings told the protagonist toward the protagonist due to having been in separate countries for so long. So probably Takumi is probably the one who is like kind of like Frederick in Fire Emblem Awakening, where he was very like, Frederick in Awakening was very cautious of the main character Robin, for good reason. It was a stranger who came from out of nowhere and wanted to befriend Chrom. So Takumi is kind of just an extension of that. Like, Takumi's like, I don't trust Kamui. He's been raised in a foreign land who is our enemy. So why should I trust him? Like, there is no reason to. He may be my blood, but that doesn't mean that I completely like trust him because he's my blood, you know? That's because so the quote is, "Don't get carried away. It's because I have no faith in the two of you." Okay. I'm really sorry. I'm gotta get back. So Sakura had a quote as well. "Everybody in this country is nothing but good-natured." So it really plays on her good-natured will and her optimism. So it kind of just strengthens what I just said before. But back to Takumi. "Don't get carried away. It's because I have no faith in the two of you." So maybe he's talking to the protagonist and Aqua at this point. So yeah, it just seems like he's a character that's sort of like Frederick. He just doesn't have any sort of like, he has to be cautious of, you know, Kamui because of his circumstance, which is totally understandable. And he is the prince, he is the younger brother, so maybe it plays on the fact that the older brother disappeared and now he feels like he abandoned him. It's like, it's so many facets that could lead into why he's acting this way, why Takumi is like this. And of course he's the archer class, so that's pretty cool. So we're going on to our last character, who is Ryoma. And let's see, the first prince of the Kingdom of Hoshido, the protagonist's older brother. His personality is the personification of Bushido. Though he appears to be a man of the army, he is kind and considerate. He is kind and considerate towards his siblings, and his class is the True Blade. I can't really read that. I think it's True Blade. "As an older brother, I am proud of you all. With you all by my side, there is nothing to fear." So he just seems like a typical, like, just like a leader in this case. Leader, like just an older brother, really. In our older brother archetype. Which is totally fine, you know. Like, there needs to be a character that really is sort of showing, like, leadership and stuff like that. Because it's totally fine. What else is there? Yeah. So this is pretty much all there is to it. Like, I definitely don't see much of Ryoma's personality besides the fact that he's the older brother, he's a leader and stuff like that. But Takumi and Sakura's personality seem the most interesting out of all the cast. Takumi being just not trusting of the protagonist, and maybe Sakura being optimistic and wanting to trust the protagonist. So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, you know, I have a link to the description below to these images. They appear to be from cantopia.wordpress.com from the looks of things, and just have a read yourself and just see what you guys think. I mean, what do you guys think of the Hoshido side down below? Like, comment and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Koi51 out.